government is engaging with the hereditary chiefs. I want to say that our Premier stepped out and said his expectations were that the conduct of the police would be to be respectful and caring, and that he had expectations that everyone would work to achieve peace, a peaceful resolution. And we got a temporary agreement with the hereditary chiefs and the RCMP. And that's an ongoing process, as of course is reconciliation. And I know that we all saw the video clips of the police breaching the barricades, and that was hard to see and it was upsetting. But at the same time, I wasn't there and I haven't really connected with, except to hear a lot of different conflicting stories of how things have unfolded up in the north, far away from the Comox Valley.
So I grew up in South Africa under apartheid. They had the apartheid rule of law, right? And so we have here the Canadian rule of law. It doesn't make it right, and we need to stop it. Okay, you're coming into hereditary First Nations territory. You're saying the Supreme Court of Canada, the ultimate decision, said we need to recognize their inherent rights, and yet Canada is going in there. Well, no, our rule of law is more powerful than yours, and you even showed it physically by going over the barriers. And I do hold the NDP government responsible for this.
I wish that Rona Ray would have stuck around and listened to some rebuttal, because I think that. What she has done is what a lot of our politicians in our modern day do, is they come and stand on a soapbox, they talk about these things that they're doing that do make a difference in a lot of people's lives, but they don't really address the real issue at hand. Because we all got to remember, back when they were elected, they said a lot of things on their platform, like no Site C, like no LNG, like we're going to stop all this corruption of our lands and listen to the people and bring that beauty and that nature back to British Columbians that we all deserve. Ultimately, at the end of the day, those resources need to be protected. And if we're not going to stand up for those resources and stand up for Aboriginal rights and title, then I'm afraid that our future is going to be bleak.
I thank you all for coming to show your support for the Wet'suwet'en people and what the actions that are happening up there, because it affects all of us in many different ways. For Indigenous people, it calls to question our own hereditary leadership. It calls to question the right to govern ourselves and to speak about our own futures. But for other Canadians, these Indigenous people in the north are doing it for their children and all of our children, all of us together. And so we stand there proudly for all Canadians, all British Columbians, as we have for many years. The RCMP have come to take on the role of the military, destroying our communities in the process. And now, as we're trying to speak about our Aboriginal right and title, to enforce it, to stand our ground on our traditional territories, they're once again the pawns in that game.